everybody's, and you'll see too if you've been watching this. By the way, I didn't ask this. Has anybody been watching the show since it started? Keep watching it. Get your friends to watch it. Get everybody to watch the show. You'll notice that we started putting chapter headings on it, and that's for a reason, which means you can come into it at any point that you want to. But there are also, if you follow along, it's by episode 26, it's that much more rewarding because you've gone on this journey with these characters and you've also uncovered this really mystery, which is great because everybody's speculating about it already online and no one's even close to figuring it out yet. So there you go.
Tony, you want to talk a little bit about the cast for the show?
Well, we're really happy to have Matt in the show.
Yeah!
We're obviously, you know, very huge fans of Casey. We love Casey, and we're really happy to have Casey Kasem continue on Mystery Incorporated, now playing Shaggy's father. Starting with Matt joined us in Abracadabra Do, and then and also Camp Scare, and now Mystery Incorporated. And we're really happy because Shaggy's a hard voice to imitate, and we don't feel that Matt is imitating Shaggy. We feel that Matt is Shaggy. And, no. I mean that in a great. I mean that like.
I'm way better looking than.
Casey is Shaggy. A couple other guys imitated Shaggy. Matt's the only other guy to actually be Shaggy.
Well, there's also, I have to say that Frank Welker, who is on that promo reel, is one of the venerable voices in this industry. He is a piece of history. I mean, he is a legend, and to have him in the booth every week is an honor. I mean, he's incredible. He plays both Fred and Scooby Doo, and he goes back and forth.
And he's been Fred for 40 years, right? He's been Fred since Scooby Doo, Where Are You? Since the very first episode. And now he's playing this Fred, who's kind of a little bit more of a different kind of Freddie Jones. And a lot of the new show has been kind of written with Frank in mind. Like, we kind of know how Frank is going to perform. And it's phenomenal. It's amazing to be. He's obviously such a rich part of animation history, and it's great to be working on a show with him.
He seems to be enjoying the changes too.
Yeah, he was like our.
We run a lot of stuff by Frank.
He was our stamp of approval when we first came in with some changes, and he was like, we were like, oh God, if Welker doesn't like this, we're done.
And a lot of some of the changes. I mean, you know, we're big fans of this stuff, and we honor the tradition of the show, but we are making some changes, and we're adding some new things, and we're playing with the characters a little bit, and we're trying to go deeper and scarier and more realistic and have more fun with this stuff. So we do talk to, we talk to Ken and Joe. We talk to the guys who created this show.
And actually, when we talked to them, we showed them some of this stuff. They said, wow, you know what? Some of these ideas that you're touching on here are things that we wanted to do in the original 1969 show, and they just weren't able to do it at that point. And you know, it felt good to hear that, and we felt we were on the.
We felt like we were completely crazy. So.
And also the thing is, you know, like the original series, the guest stars that come in and the people that work with us. Vivica Fox is on the show. Michael Warburton is on the show. Great voices that come in every single week.
Patrick Warburton, you know, obviously everyone here knows who Patrick Warburton is and other voices he's done on other shows, but he's so great as Sheriff Stone that he really brings something to each and every episode.
Mitch, you want to talk about the people that you brought on? Like,
I'm trying to think of, we've had so many guest stars. We've had George Siegel, we've had,
Louis Black.
Louis Black is on the show. He's a recurring character. Character of Mr. E. I'm trying to think of Udo Kier. Once again, this is for all the parents in the audience.
Yeah, all the 6 to 11-year-olds are huge Udo Kier fans.
Yeah.
Especially his work he did with Andy Warhol.
Yeah, there's Udo Kier. He hasn't appeared in the series yet. He starts appearing around episode 12.
You know, this is one of my favorite things about talking about this show, is that we have to be careful about what we're talking about because there's a lot of things in upcoming episodes.
Is that your cue?
Well, that's my shut up bitch cue. But that's cool because it's like this is the first time that we have a Scooby Doo show that we have to be careful about spoilers with. And we're going to show you episode 7, which is a little bit down the road, and there's a little bit of kind of some spoilerage happening in it, but I think everyone can handle it.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys talk about a little bit about the relationship?
Okay. Oh, for this particular episode, which in the sequence is episode or chapter 7, what you need to know is this is it's sort of a standalone episode, meaning the big story, 26 episode story, doesn't really factor into this episode, but there's a lot of stuff going on with the characters. And for those of you who've been watching the show and those of you who haven't, in the first episode we introduced the fact that Velma and Shaggy are having a secret romance. Yes. And it's being kept a secret because Shaggy is very worried about how Scooby is going to feel about the whole thing. So there's sort of like a love triangle between the three of them.
It's super hot.
Yeah, it's about as hot as you can get with a man-woman-dog love triangle.
So by this episode, Scooby finds out, and the dog is not happy.
Yeah, because in the prior episode, what happened was it's our big prom episode. And essentially, every year on the exact date that the prom happened, Shaggy and Scooby watch a Vincent Van Gogh movie marathon together. Vincent Van Gogh, for those of you who are familiar with the old series, we brought Vincent Van Gogh back as this sort of, he's a horror movie star that everybody's in love with, and he factors in a bunch of the episodes.
And we actually got permission from the Vincent Price estate to put Vincent Price back in the show,
yes.
Which, Bruce Lamar is doing the voice, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We're super excited about that.
So as you're going to see at the beginning of this episode, Scooby is not particularly happy with Shaggy because Shaggy blew him off to go to the prom with Velma, and got caught at the end of episode 6. And at the same time, things have begun to heat up a little bit between Daphne and Fred, to the point where Fred is getting to the point where he's finally starting to notice Daphne.
Yeah, and Daphne's been a little forward with her, like, "Hey, Fred, I'm over here," and at this point, by the point you see this episode, she's getting a little tired of it, a little sick of it. She just kind of wants Fred to finally realize, that she exists.
That's it. That's all we
Tell us who else is in this episode.
Well, I don't know if anyone knows who the Hex Girls are.
Then you're gonna love this episode.
This is the Mystery Incorporated version, Return of the Hex Girls.
I love that. They went crazy with it. Hex Girls.
All right, why don't we go ahead and start the episode then, and then we'll do a few more questions after that.
Yeah.
All right.
Enjoy.